She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
I'm not saying they want me, but you have my services. I desire this so much.
I want it to be Zachary Levi because I'm in love with him.
Nick Offerman's in it.
We're going to screw immediately.
Have the confidence of a mediocre white man.
That's a better climax.
Lie to them. It's okay. Hi.
Hi.
So, on my way up,
my
children were arguing.
I
mean, this is normal for the Bigses.
Yeah.
They're watching Fuller House. Now,
I love that show.
It's cute. They know that Bob Saget has recently passed. I told them the other day because I knew they were fans with it. And
in January.
They're arguing if he's dead or not because he's on the TV right now.
Do they not understand how Netflix filming works? They're not even making new episodes of that show anymore.
It is, I was trying to explain that things are pre-recorded, that things aren't live, right? But the laugh track makes it feel like there are people in the audience. So I get their struggle.
I feel like Piper is too old to think that it's live.
Sometimes realism is real. It is. So I handled it. I explained. I don't even know who was on what side when I came into the room. I was just like, what is the issue, right? So it was an unnecessary argument. But that's what happens when you have a teen and a tween. So
I had to help Sam open one of his Christmas presents today.
It's February.
Right. They've opened them all, like, unwrapped them, but, like, they haven't played with all of them still. And, like, we don't go over the top. They don't really get a lot of presents, so why are they still opening stuff? I don't know, but...
My children... Oh, sorry, that was my alarm. No. Turning that off. Sorry, that's my alarm to schedule pod.
Scheduled.
I will schedule it.
Oh.
For, like, on RSS. Sorry, gang. My children open every single box as soon as they get them.
No. They have not played with any of the board games that they got for Christmas yet. Sam opened what he opened today was, like one of those unboxing type eggs. So you like open it up.
The mystery whatevers?
Yeah. So this was a dinosaur one, and you had to open all the pieces and parts to find the pieces of the dinosaur, which included me pulling dinosaur legs out of slime. And then getting the slime off of it so that I could put it together. It was not fun.
Liv has recently gotten into the brand minis. Mm-hmm. Have you seen these?
Yeah.
She's got a mini mart, and she puts her brand shit. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't get it.
Well, my kids like them because Sam wants to be like Ryan. Like, his goal is to be like a YouTuber. So they still constantly ask me how many views the one video I made for them on Instagram, how many views it's gotten. Yeah, they're very cute.
Lie to them. It's okay.
Hey, it is one of our most viewed
Tell them it's millions. It's okay. It's a little white lie. They're never going to know.
It's never going to go viral. Mommy's not that popular. But yeah, and then James was trying to he got a magic science kit. Like, it's science stuff, but like magic, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it has a wand, but you like do the science and like, ooh, it worked.
Science!
But he didn't want to play with it. And so I'm like, you're going to just lose the pieces. What the fuck, man? So anyway, Santa brings too many pieces, and I'm not happy with Santa right now.
Word.
Why did Santa and the slime, and I'll tell you that Thom actually warned me not to get them that, but I did it anyway.
Mom's strong.
Yeah.
This week is Love Hypothesis.
Yeah, I got it right here. Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood.
I have my
You read the audiobook, right?
I did do the audiobook.
I did the physical book for
fantastic.
This This is the first one this month that I read the physical book.
I had to take a week off after listening to this book from reading because I was so involved with this book.
Right.
And I'm still contemplating re-listening to it again before I start the next book.
I have read several parts over again. Like, I don't just
emotionally
mean the
attached to these. Okay, I am attached to these characters the way I'm attached to the Grace characters. I want 19 plus seasons of these guys.
I 100% do. They are wonderful and I love them. And this is the kind of romance novel that I like. The slow burn. That is my jam. I'm not into like we're going to screw immediately. Oh, it's very spicy. It's very good.
Would you like a synopsis?
I would love it.
Okay. Olive, a postdoc, is trying to just survive. She loves her friends so much that she is faking a relationship with one of the most hated professors in her program. Just so her best friend, An, will actually date the guy she's pining over. As she gets to know him, Olive realizes that there is more to Dr. Adam Carlson than everyone thinks. This book is a slow burn and will instantly become a favorite to those who read it.
Yeah. So this book is all over social media. So like that's actually how we found out about it.
The Instagram book. Book
it's everywhere
or whatever.
Bookstagram. So like we had already picked our February books, and I was like, I really want to read The Love Hypothesis because it's everywhere right now, and it just like. I look at the cover and I want to read this. Like, this is adorable to me.
That's Adam Driver. I don't care what you say. That is Adam Driver.
I agree with you. I want it to be Zachary Levi because I'm in love with him. Not really in love with him, but I love him a lot. But I'm not happy with the pink shirt on the cover because Adam wears black all the time. But yes, I 100% think after you said that to me, yes, this is Adam Driver. And there are a lot of people that are saying like it's fanfic for Ray and
it is oh yeah
Kylo Ray fanfic.
I see it.
I totally see that as a Star Wars fan. I think there is so much Grey's Anatomy like in it, like it's so Grey's to me. But we had decided on our books already, and we decided we wanted to read this one, and so we like actually kicked off one of our books and put this one on in its place.
And I'm really glad we did.
I'm really glad we did because we were going to do The Notebook.
Yeah, which is
a classic romantic book.
And it is a fan favorite. People love that book.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest Nicholas Sparks fan in general. I have read 4 books by him. And like I know he's people's favorite author, but like I'm just really not into chick lit. Like that's not my thing. But I've read The Notebook, I've read A Walk to Remember, The Last Song, and Dear John, and all 4 of those are fantastic books.
Dear John and A Walk to Remember are my favorite.
Dear John, I'm not happy what they did with the movie. They changed the ending.
The movie pissed me off.
Yes.
The only reason I started Nicholas Sparks and reading Nicholas Sparks was because of Mandy Moore in A Walk to Remember.
A Walk to Remember, 100%. That was the first one I read too.
I love her so much.
And then like, I don't know, have you read The Last Song or seen The Last Song movie with Miley Cyrus?
No.
So Miley Cyrus
on an anti-Miley thing for years, and anything attached to her, I just instantly hated.
Well, Miley Cyrus was trying to get a movie made that Nicholas Sparks wrote. Like she was a big fan, or she is a big fan of
his
A Walk to Remember, and she wanted like the same thing basically. So he actually wrote the screenplay for The Last Song before he wrote the book.
Really?
And he based the whole thing off of Miley's vibe. But to be honest with you, I don't think Molly was a good Ronnie, which is the main character. And that's weird because it was like based on her vibe.
Made for her. Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was weird. But anyway, we decided not to do The Notebook and instead to do The Love Hypothesis, which was a fantastic choice.
Oh, it's so good.
Such a good choice.
Let's get into the questions then, so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
No, you're good. I get it. I love it. Keep the passion. We start this book with a prologue. Olive is in a bathroom talking to a stranger. We find out later this is all foreshadowing for our main storyline. Was it predictable? Did you like the foreshadowing?
It was 100% predictable. I knew from that conversation, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the guy. This is going to be the guy.
It has to be.
And then like you really get that confirmed in the first chapter when she kisses him. So like Anne thinks that she is on a date, that Olive is on a date. Is that how they say her name in the audio?
Yeah, on.
I was reading it in my head, Anne. So if I mispronounce it, I'm really sorry because I was
sorry.
I was reading it in my head.
Don't get the audiobook.
I didn't read the audiobook. So on likes this guy that Olive like went on a couple dates with. Olive is not really into him, but she doesn't want On to like pass up the opportunity. But of course, On's doing like the, you know,
best friend thing. I can't.
Yeah.
Girl code. Got it.
It's against the laws of feminism. You know, so she convinces her that she's on a date. And when On finds her like in the lab, she just kisses the first guy, basically.
Really?
And then like literally the first guy, which turns out to be Adam. And like when that chapter ends, he calls her by name, but she's never told him her name.
Right.
And so like that's confirmation that like he was the guy, but she doesn't know until much later in the book.
I didn't catch that because I was just so into the story already.
Oh like, no, I was like, oh yeah, that's confirmation right there. But she doesn't remember, like doesn't put the two and two together until much later in the book. But I mean, it was very predictable to me. It was a good
cliche.
But I liked it. And one of the things I like about this book, because we talk about cliches so much on this pod, is that the author, like, calls them out. Like, she knows.
Oh my God. We're going to talk about that.
She knows when the cliches are happening. So, yeah, I liked that a lot. Anyway, yes. It was predictable, but I liked it. It didn't bother me.
When I first, so, like, the first third of the book, I was like, what does any of this have to do with anything, right? Mm-hmm. And then as we started getting deeper into it and his best friends are like, oh, he's been pining after you since, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh, shit. And then my brain puts the math together.
Well, it's what's good about it, too, is the reason that she ends up doing postdoc was because of that conversation.
Right.
Or no, she's not a postdoc. She's working on her doc.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yeah. That's all right. But the reason that she ends up doing it, because she's not sure, like, do I really want to follow science? And, like, do I really want to see my career?
Talked her into it.
Yeah, because he tells her that it only matters what your reason is. Right. And her reason was that she had a question that she needed to know the answer to. And he tells her that that's the only acceptable reason. And that's what, like, drives her all through her grad school is, like, I have a question. The person I met in the bathroom told me that was the reason to keep going. And it turns out it was him.
And he's always been there. He's always supporting her.
Always been there.
Anyway.
I love it.
So, in chapter 2, when On finds out about that Olive is dating Adam, she panics, worrying that Olive is doing it for a green card.
Yeah.
Later, we learn that the trio has a plan in case Olive does get deported. Would you marry a friend to prevent them from getting deported?
I want to say yes, because I feel like a good person would say yes.
No.
But I'm not great with authority. So I probably would be too afraid to get caught.
I would.
I know you would.
I would. I'm that friend. I don't mind. It's a white lie, right? It's a white lie. You are thumbing your nose to authority to protect a friend. I'm all about it.
But like, I wouldn't want to get caught. Like,
but how long have they been having that conversation? Like, is this really a massive concern that the U.S. government's worried about a pancreatic cancer doctoral candidate?
Well, there are people that when they finish their PhD, if they don't find a career, they do get bounced back.
Right. Right. But they're talking about it while they're still in school. Like, has, like, the United States gone, we're looking at you. Like, has she been getting nasty emails and letters?
I mean, I doubt it.
From immigration?
I think, well, the author is not from the States. So I don't know if maybe that's a fear that she had when she was in grad school.
I get that.
Because, like, one of the things, if you read Ali Hazelwood's bio blurb in the back
Which I didn't,
of the book.
Because I didn't have the book.
I want to read it because it's so cute.
Go ahead.
Ali Hazelwood is a multi-published author, alas, of peer-reviewed articles about brain science in which no one makes out, and the ever after is not always happy. That's a great line.
Right.
Originally from Italy, she lived in Germany and Japan before moving to the United States to pursue her PhD in neuroscience. She's actually has a PhD in neuroscience. She's like Maya Bialik. She recently became a professor, which absolutely terrifies her. When Allie is not at work, she can be found running, eating cake pops, or watching sci-fi movies with her
which
two feline overlords and her slightly less feline husband. So, like, okay, so I feel like maybe that's coming from a place of, like, her own insecurity. Like, she was in this country doing her PhD. What if she got kicked out, you know?
Right. I mean, that makes sense.
Might come from there.
Speaking of her, that's my next question. The author, Ali Hazelwood, points out and even mocks the love story tropes that are common in books and rom-coms. This got me thinking, what is your favorite love trope?
I like the slow burn. Like, that's my favorite. My favorite one that's mentioned in the book, like my favorite reaction to the one that's mentioned in the book is when Adam invites Olive to stay in his hotel room.
Oh, and there's going to be one bed thing?
There's going to be one bed. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, I can show you my hotel reservation confirmation. It is 2 beds. Nope. There will only be one bed. There will only be one bed.
Because there's only one bed.
And then I thought about this, and like one of my favorite shows is Chuck. Because Zachary Levi, you know.
Zachary Levi.
But they do the one bed trope in there too, and that's the first time him and Sarah.
For me, I have two. I love which both are super cliches, and that's fine. I love the best friend to lover. Yes, I don't know why everybody on TikTok and Instagram insists on the enemies to lovers. That's not my thing. I don't want enemies to lovers. That's my number two. Enemies to lovers. No, I like the friends becoming lovers. Which it's super toxic, right? It's like toxic. It's like when you tell a little girl that the reason the boy's pulling her hair is because he likes her. No, he's pulling her hair because he's mean. But I'm actually really shocked at how many bookstagrammers and book talkers that have such an attraction to that, like, it's toxic masculinity. 100%. Like, and it's a really, like, those are not good guys. It's the whole I can change him mindset, right? No, you can't change him. In chapter 3, Hazel is very honest about her sexuality. Hazel, why did I write Hazel? Olive. Why did I write Hazel? I don't know. Why didn't I catch it when I read these? Olive is very honest about her sexuality. She does not label it, but from my knowledge, it makes me think she is demisexual. This isn't the norm for a lead character in a romantic novel. Did you like this? Well, I think she says that she thought at one time she was asexual. Which, I mean, based off her description, it can go either way. And we texted about this. Right, yeah, so I didn't know what the difference was. Like, I didn't even realize demisexual was a term until I read your notes. So I had to, like, Google asexual and demisexual because I don't know all those things. I'll put in the notes the breakdown so people can, like, if you're unsure or if you're not sure of the LGBTQ plus, like, rainbow, I will put, there's a really great, there's several great links out there, but I'll put a few of them in the notes so you can, like, see the breakdown and the definitions. Yeah. I think that would be really helpful because, like, for me, I didn't know what it was. Having a character who, like, she doesn't know if she's asexual. She considers that because what she realizes is that she doesn't really need sex. Right. And that she's only had it a few times in college, we learn in the book. And when she ends up having sex with Adam, I think the reason that she enjoys it so much is because she loves him at that point. Like, she doesn't think he loves her, but to me, like, that's why I like the slow burn. I want the love. And I've said this in our last episode. I said this when we did City of Girls. Mm-hmm. I want the intimacy of them falling in love before the sex. You want to fall in love with them at the same time. Right. I want to be a part of that relationship. I want to see it develop and unfold and see them, the hills and valleys of a relationship before the sex comes in. And so for me, that being the way this book was written, I loved it.
Olive didn't have to label herself in whatever she wanted to label herself. And she didn't really. She said maybe at one time she wondered if she was asexual. But for me, I liked the fact that her decision to be in the relationship with Adam, to be in a sexual relationship with him, was after she fell in love with him.
Right.
It's 320 pages before they have sex. Like, that needs to be said on this pod. 300. And, well, they're numbered because I read the book. I read the physical book. But it is page 320 before they have sex. Maybe I misspoke. Oh, I did misspeak. It is not 320. It is...
We've talked about this before. Look, I like the slow burn. I love that breakdown. But I don't think that's realistic for all people. I think people have sex, and me including, have sex and then slowly fall in love. That happens all the time. I mean, sorry, Mom, if you're listening. I've had sex before, I've been in love with people. Sorry. But it happens.
258. It happens on 258. That's where they have sex with her.
Is it tabbed?
No, it wasn't. That's why it took me so long to fucking find it.
We learned Thom.
I understand that not everyone has sex because they're in love. I understand that.
Right.
But for me, that is more authentic to my experience. Right. And that's why I like it. And that's why I like it better.
Right. Right. And I think that's the great thing about this genre. Mm-hmm. There is, minus 50 Shades. We all know how much we hate that piece of garbage. That's what the great thing about this genre is. There is such a variation of an interpretation of what romance is in the romance, like, family. Right. From YA to middle grade to the fucking bodice rippers. And everyone's story is getting told in here. And I think that's important because love looks different for everyone.
Right. Well, in the book that we're going to talk about next week, it's a totally different look at love.
Fuck that book.
I know. I'm sorry, Molly. I'm glad you read it.
It still burns.
Sorry. Yeah, but I mean, I like the slow burn. I like the build to it.
Right.
To me, that's a better climax, pun intended, than when they have the miscommunication and they split up.
Ugh. And that's another trope.
Because that's a trope that happens a lot in these books too.
But this book does the miscommunication trope. Like...
Oh, but it was very predictable. Like, I 100% knew that her... But it wasn't... That her phone was still recording that conversation. I saw that coming a mile away.
The miscommunication trope usually is one-sided in books. Mm-hmm. Or the author, or if you're watching a movie or a rom-com or TV, whatever, is written to be comedic. Mm-hmm. This was written realistic. This was written to be painful and hard for both the characters, which you don't see very frequently. And I really liked that.
One of the things I did like about this book, too, is I think that there is often... pressure in these kind of books to write the other side of it. So to tell Adam's story,
right? You
could tell, I mean, at least I could, I assume you could too, that Adam was in love with her. I could tell that. But not hearing his thoughts on their breakup and not hearing when she tells him that she's in love with someone else. Huh?
I'd love to see a book from his side of the road.
But I kind of like that it isn't. Like,
Give me a second book. Give me a second book from his point of view.
Yeah, but make it better than Breaking Dawn because I did not need Edward's point of view. Oh my gosh. Made me hate Edward, actually.
We learned Thom is the traditional surprise, air quote guys, villain in this book. Did you see it coming?
Oh, I mean, yes and no. So Thom is Adam's friend.
Air quote, one of his besties.
Yeah. He keeps calling him his colleague, and I think that would probably be more accurate representation because I really think the only friend Adam has is the other science guy whose name escapes me right now, the pharma guy. But he and Thom have been friends since college, and they when Adam was talking about a grant that he had with somebody, I absolutely put together, oh yeah, this is going to be the guy that she's trying to get in the lab with, and this is going to go south.
Cliche.
Right. It was definitely cliche. I wasn't surprised that he was like that. And I don't mean that because I don't think that all people who are male scientists look at female scientists negatively, but being the girl scientist has got to be hard.
Oh, for sure.
And
being a woman in any male-dominated field is difficult.
Yeah. I just felt like it was something I could see happening because I don't think that Adam would have suspected that of him.
Yeah.
Even though Adam makes comments about the fact that their mentor, their shared mentor, was kind of like that.
Now,
yeah.
Adam is very worldly. He's had a lot of life experiences, but he still at times feels naive. He feels hopeful. Even though he's like this sullen guy, he has this sense of hopefulness that you don't get in a character that is written this grumpy and dark.
It's the genius trope,
right?
You know, it's the Sheldon Cooper idea without the autism.
He is not Sheldon Cooper.
No, he isn't. But he's that super, super smart guy that like he's actually much more like Leonard, if you ask me.
Yeah.
He's the super, super smart guy that like doesn't really understand
basic. If Leonard was played by Adam Driver and as sullen as Adam Driver plays.
What it feels like to me is like that he just doesn't understand how people work, but it's more that he doesn't care to understand how people work.
Right.
He cares about his science and his lab and doing those things. We know that he's not we know he's not a virgin. We know he's had relationships in the past.
But it's not a priority for him.
It's not a priority for him. And I think that him falling for Olive in the short conversation they have in a bathroom when she's not even officially enrolled as a student.
What about old contacts makes this girl endearing?
I don't know, but man, it's so cute. It's so cute that it's enough for him to not look at other girls for 5 years, right? It's been 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cute.
So there is a point in this book where they're talking about Fast and the Furious movies. Mm-hmm. I even said I was listening to it, and Olive, at the same time she said it, I said it, the best Fast and the Furious movie is obviously Tokyo Drift. So my question is to you, your favorite Fast and Furious movie?
I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies.
That's a fucking feat, dude! How did you avoid them? They're everywhere. TBS used to run it like it was freaking The Christmas Story on...
I don't really like a lot of... I don't really care about cars or racing... And that much testosterone in one movie, that's just too much for me. So, not really my thing.
But you've dated enough boys that somebody had to have forced you to see it at least once.
No. I have 3 brothers, so they've never made me either. Fuck, I'm actually not even sure. I don't know. I don't even know if Thom has seen them. Actually, I'm not sure if he has either.
Text him.
I'll ask him later and let you know.
Yeah. She'll put it in the notes.
Yeah. Tom's favorite Fast and the Furious movie. Honestly, I'm not sure if he likes them. I know that for sure we don't have them on our our server.
It's it's now a thing for Matt and I to watch them as they come out to mock them. Right?
What's the point of watching a movie to mock? I don't...
It's fun.
And how many of them are there? There's 25 at this point.
I don't know.
None of them have anything to do with the other one.
No.
But I know there's a whole, it's family thing. I don't care.
1, 2, 3,
also,
4,
I'm actually
5,
surprised
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh my gosh.
12.
Actually, I'm surprised that Adam and Olive have even seen The Fast and the Furious. That doesn't feel on brand for either one of them.
Cheesy rom-coms. Why wouldn't she watch trashy car movies?
She also likes sci-fi because she references Star Wars a couple of times.
Word.
But why is there a romantic part of the Fast and Furious movies? Is there?
If you love cars.
I do not. I don't care about cars.
My next question isn't really a question. I just wrote, have the confidence of a mediocre white man.
Yes.
Seriously.
100%.
Facts.
So,
and I needed that. Let me tell you what, I needed that. Because I am, minus this facade, I am not a confident human being.
So, interesting thing about the library world is that we are a female-dominated profession, which is not the interesting part. Most librarians are women. However, the male librarians tend to move up the ladder faster. They tend to be the branch managers. They tend to be the people who are directors. They move up much faster. They're younger when they get into these positions and things like that. And a lot of times, I really just think that is because as women, we're told to not apply for jobs that we're not qualified for. But men don't have that. If they're not qualified for a job, but they want a job, they apply for it anyway.
We've had this conversation before on the pod.
We have? I don't remember having it. But, okay.
We talked about it when we were talking about work and careers and stuff. And I mentioned that I have a male friend who is white, and he told me to apply for what I want, even if my degree doesn't line up, because they'll see my talent.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, we did have that conversation. But to me, this have the confidence of the mediocre white man, that was that point right there.
Yep.
Like, just do the things you want to do and try.
Right. Chapter 18 is very meta for several reasons. It is the peak of the book. What did you think about this? It all ends up ending on their actual scheduled end date. Right. How did you feel about this?
So chapter 18, for those of you who are listening, is the chapter after Adam and Olive have sex.
Yeah.
And this is when On finds out the truth, that their relationship has been a farce the entire time.
They get the video recording of
yes, they
what's
get
his face
they,
being a
Thom.
Tom.
Yeah, they hear Thom. It's also the chapter that she breaks up with Adam because she thinks he's in love with somebody else.
That's Vex.
And anyway, so all of that happens in one chapter. I think it's a lot to unpack in one chapter, but I thought that would be what would happen. I thought they would get to the point where it was the day that they were supposed to break up and she would end it. I didn't realize that it was going to be the day after they had sex, but I mean, you got to have the miscommunication trope. Right. What is a romance book without a miscommunication
trope? Right.
Like, I just feel like that just doesn't exist.
I don't know if I wasn't paying attention as I was going along in the audiobook, or if they purposely left out dates, but I didn't see it coming, which says a lot for me, because I'm usually good about paying attention to this stuff.
Right. I knew that there was going to have to be a part where On found out the truth. I knew there was going to have to be a part where they broke up. It made sense that it was on the day that they had originally agreed. I didn't realize that date was also going to be the day after they had sex and the conference and all of that. Like that, it was a lot.
So can you see why this book has been trending on social media?
100%. This is like, people that are recommending this book, I don't think they're just doing it because it's a trend. Like, I have already personally told 2 people that they have to read this book. I actually told Dawn that I would buy it for her if she didn't buy it herself. Like, you need to read this book. It's so good. And Dawn's not like a big reader. Like, she doesn't read a lot. So no.
So this book is fantastic, and I personally want it as a series. Honestly, I don't care. Give me a show, movie, book. I fell in love with these characters instantly. Yeah. Thoughts? What do you want? More books? More a show? What do you think will come from this?
I mean, I think they'll probably end up making a movie. It's so damn popular. I can't imagine somebody not buying the rights
to
it
as a show
and make it a movie.
Slow burn it.
Yeah, it would be great as like a HBO Plus.
Max, yes.
Max, that's what I meant, HBO Max. Like a little series on there with a good slow burn. I think that would be awesome. I think it would do really well there. I would love that. I don't know what will happen. I don't think that there needs to be a sequel. I think the epilogue, is there an epilogue or is it just last chapter?
Remember.
Well, I think the point of them being a year later and they recreate their first kiss and they don't get engaged. That was one of the things I complained about in the last episode, that these books always end with engagement. To me, I think that was enough. I can tell their story from there. Like, John Green actually has said this in interviews, but also in The Fault in Our Stars. He doesn't like continuing books. Like, people always ask him, what happens after this? The book is over. What do you think happened? I've left it for you.
I hate when authors do that.
No, but I don't. And for me, I can picture them having a full relationship and getting married and having kids and little science geeky kids and like all those things. All the things. But I don't have to have a book that tells me that, because I don't think you can recreate the magic of this book. I don't think it can be done again.
You know, that's a valid point. That's 100% a valid point, because it is so special as is. Mm-hmm. Trying to recreate it, duplicate it, continue it on in another book series, spinoff, whatever, just might take away from that.
I think it would. But I would like it to be made into an HBO Max series.
Same.
I think that would be the platform I would pick for it too.
I will write for a year for free for HBO Max for this series. I'm not saying they want me, but you have my services. I desire this so much. I did have this written in my notes. Did you have a favorite secondary character?
Her best friend, and now his name escapes me, but what is
That's mine!
What is his name? Oh my gosh.
I don't have the book.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to find it.
I'm a terrible podcaster.
Is it Malcolm, or is that Adam's best friend?
I thought that was Adam's best friend. Fuck if I know.
Okay, hang on. Let's go to the chapter with the miscommunication, because I have a flag.
But so we didn't talk about this, but her best friend and his best friend end up getting together, which is amazing.
I thought that was a little far-fetched.
Oh, I thought it was super cute. They're super dirty about it. It's amazing.
His name is Malcolm. That is her best friend. Adam.
What's his best friends?
On and Malcolm.
Malcolm.
His best friend is. Hang on.
It's gonna bug me.
It's like Horatio or something. It's
Horatio, something like that. Hernando.
Yeah. Is that it?
No, I was just thinking of the. Anyways, I'll put it in the
Holden. It's Holden. Yeah.
Okay.
No, he was definitely my favorite secondary character. He was totally the George to her Meredith.
Right. Holden is so cute because, like, we learned through Holden that Adam went to his prom with him.
I know.
Like, Adam has always been there for him.
Yeah, so cute.
I'm straight.
So cute.
Any final thoughts? Because I'm out of questions.
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts, and we're only 37 minutes in, so we're getting into my thoughts now. All right, so I just have random bullet points. So these aren't actually questions, but these are my. I think we have to talk about the sex scene. We have to talk about it.
We have to.
So, like, this scene starts with her having like a terrible day. So she had a good day to start with. She was
crying. He found her crying.
Right. So she gave a talk, and Thom ruined that.
BT dub. From sex to crying, cliché. Happens all the time.
From crying to sex, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot that happens in the middle. Like, they go to like the Japanese restaurant with the moving sushi. But yeah, so she's had a really shit day, and she's at this point she's already in love with Adam. She's already admitted to Malcolm that she's in love with him. And as Malcolm put it, she caught feelings for a guy that she was supposed to be fake dating. That's like such a cliche in and of itself, right? So
again, another thing the author points out.
right. So the sex scene starts with her kissing Adam, and he kind of like stops it. He's like, "Oh no, we're not doing this." He says, "You're in love with somebody else." Like, and she's so taken aback by the fact that he says that, because she's lied to him. Right. And she's actually in love with him. And then
these two just should have been honest.
And And then this is what happens. She says, "I know that you don't want me the same way that I want you," or something along those lines. And he grabs her hand, sticks it on his crotch, and says, "You have no idea what I want." And I was just like, oh my gosh. Whoa. Crazy. Like, I'm blushing now as we're talking about it, because I was like, did he really just take her hand and put it on his erection?
Definitely did.
He definitely did. So I love this sex scene so much because of her innocence. To me, that's so relatable. Like, she hasn't had sex since college. And at one point, he actually stops it. He's like, you're practically a virgin. And then she goes on to this, like, whole spiral about how virginity is not binary. Like, you can't, like, get it back. It's like...
You can't re-virginize.
Virginity is binary. You either are or you aren't. And, like, you can't get it back. And so, like... she's not a virgin anymore. And her nervousness of like everything that's happening while they're having sex, like she isn't sure what to do and she's not sure what he would like. And that's also relatable to me.
Right.
I love his reluctance to steal her virtue. So like, yes, I'm referencing Twilight there. Like he's so reluctant to ruin this good girl that she is.
Another sullen male lead that everybody lusts after.
So cute. I also really love and appreciate that the author avoided, like, one of the things that you've talked about is how when people write love scenes, they use the five senses. Yeah. I absolutely hate it when they bring smells into it. Like, I don't want to talk about the way sex smells. Like, I don't like that.
Dude!
I don't, oh gosh, that really turns my stomach. Like, but this author avoids that. So thank you, Ali Hazelwood, for not talking about the smells. Thank you. Grosses me out.
Oh my God, I'm going to clip that.
Probably. But I thought the whole thing was so well written and
and it was natural and it had so this sex scene was, I was listening to this because I was trying to knock out my notes because we were going along. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening and playing the Xbox and Matt comes to sit and join me and the kids are finishing their dinner and he sits down next to me and I just pop the earbud out and pop it into his ear. Mm-hmm. And Matt's listening and his eyes just go bigger and bigger.
That's amazing.
And I just take it out and I go,
that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I thought, like, the fact that she was like, well, wait, I want to make sure that you're having a good time, and, like, I want to do the things for you. And he's like, I can't think of a time that I didn't want to do this to you. And I'm like, how does she not realize that he's totally madly in love with you? Like, oh my gosh. The description, like, when he says that he likes the color of her underwear, like, I don't know, just the whole thing, to me, that was a better sex scene than the other two books we've read this month. Like, all of them. This was, like, much better.
No, you know what? No, I really love, now, this is apples and oranges, but in, where is it? The Wedding Date. After he's about to leave to go back to LA for the first time, and he walks her into the house and like they just are up against the wall and just have a good romp, and I'm just like, yeah.
This was better in my opinion, but anyway, I'm not saying
it's apples and oranges, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But I really liked it. I thought, and it's only one chapter, like that's it. They have. This whole book is considered a romance novel.
A slow burn. It is so good. And so good. There's sexual tension all the way up, right?
Right.
From the first kiss, like when she's rubbing lotion all over him after he moved the car, right?
Yeah.
And
like I have to say, like they can.
That is when I started. When he moved the car is when I started picturing Adam Driver, because like they're talking about him taking off his shirt and the ripped abs, and I'm like,
but I have to give it this. It is so cliche that the science guy is so hot and ripped underneath his lab coat. No,
they all look like Leonard Hofstadter.
Have you met scientists? Like,
and this is why because I'm married to the little nerdy dude.
Yeah, me too. Well, I told Dawn that she has to read this because her husband actually is a biologist. He's
amazing.
A PhD biologist. He's a professor, but her husband actually is quite ripped. so he fulfills that cliche. But anyway, other things I wanted to talk about when he's beating up Thom. Well, he's got him like pinned up against the wall
at the restaurant in front of the Harvard guys.
And then he goes, "The woman I love," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he just said it. He just said it,
dude." There should have been a record scratch in the audiobook.
Right. Yeah. And Olive, like, doesn't even register. Like, I wanted the sentence where she's like, did he just say that he loved
pause,
me?
rewind. I literally needed to rewind.
Right. I wanted her to say, this is the cliche that she steered away from, because normally at that point, we would hear the author, or we'd hear the narrator, or Olive's point of view of, did he just say he loved me? Like, we didn't get that there.
But we didn't get that because it was so intense.
It was so intense.
What a great scene, though. Right?
Such a good scene. And the other one that was really big for me was when she mentions, like, they're at the hotel and she's, like, hungry, and he's digging through his bag and he pulls out the power bar that's covered in chocolate. He doesn't like chocolate. Yeah, and she doesn't even realize, like, that means that he packed it for you. Like, he was thinking about you.
So, I sent you guys you and Katie a video about this, actually, and this is actually, I didn't have this in my note, but I want to talk about it now because copyright law is weird, right?
It is.
There's a Hank Green video. I've sent it to the girls. I will post it in the notes, but he had to pay copyright rights to songs for using them in his books. Yeah, she talks about Starbucks nonstop. She has to have paid copyright for that.
Absolutely, because otherwise they would have just used another
nondescript coffee shop.
I mean, right. Or called it like Campus Brew or something like that, because it was on campus.
I wonder, and you know what? I'm going to do some research and dig into it, because I really wonder how much it would cost for that, because it's got to be worth it.
It's got to be something, yeah.
Right. I mean, unless you're describing it as a landmark, as a location, then they can't, like, pass.
But they're talking about specific drinks in there. She mentions, like, not just
the chamomile tea, the chai tea latte, the pumpkin spice latte.
And then the unicorn thing.
Right! Which is copyrighted.
Yeah, it's like, I bet you're right on that. But the fact that he had that energy bar for her, oh my gosh.
Oh, it was so sweet.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, I guess in a lot of ways, you don't want to, like, go at that place in your head. Like, you don't want to, like, convince yourself this person likes you if you think that they don't. But, like,
So, let's wrap up by talking about who we would think is casting.
Okay, yeah.
So he is supposed to be in his mid-30s, right? Well, she's in her mid-20s.
Right.
So, I keep talking about Adam Driver, but I don't think he'd be old, and I think he'd be too old by the time they start filming.
I would still say Adam Driver. I think
he's
he would
our
be
age. He's like
he is.
Adam Driver.
He's not 40. I'm 40.
Adam Driver was, I want to say, 82.
Really?
I'm looking it up right now. Adam Driver was, he's my age. He was born in November. Oh, I'm older than Adam Driver.
I think that's okay, Molly.
I don't think so.
I'm older than a lot of people.
But he went. I think
he would be great, and I think that the fans of this book would probably be mad if it wasn't him.
Now, have you seen?
He even has the nose as Adam is described, and he's named Adam. Like, come on.
So, have you seen the cast of? Have you seen the show Peacemaker?
Mm-mm.
So I'm picturing. So for his best friend, or his not best friend, Thom, I'm picturing the actor's name is Freddie Stroma. He was
I'm looking up the IMDb right now.
Freddie Stroma, who it was in Pitch Perfect. He was in the Harry Potter films.
I do not remember this person from Pitch Perfect at all.
He plays the radio station manager in the first movie.
Ah, yes, okay.
And I'm picturing him as, like, Thom. And then I don't have anybody else. So why don't you tell me what you're seeing in your head?
Adam Driver, for sure, for Adam. Florence Pugh for Olive.
Ooh. I like Florence Pugh, but I'm going to disagree there.
Who are you thinking?
I'm thinking somebody more mousier.
I think Florence Pugh because she's tiny.
Right.
Like, to me, she's the right height. I'm
thinking, like, young Ellen
Pompeo.
Right? Also...
Yeah, that's because that's where your brain is.
Right, but no, there's another actress. Keep going. I'm going to find her...
That That's all I have. I just cast the two of them. But I think that Florence Pugh would be great as Olive. She can pull off nerdy and sciencey.
Right. Lily Collins would be cute. You don't like Lily Collins?
I do. I thought you didn't.
I don't like Lily Collins, but she's adorable.
She could do it, I guess. To me, she's too perky. Like, I don't think that... I mean, Olive was perky, but I don't think she's
our opinions on Lily Collins is going to change after this Tommy and Pam. Isn't she in that?
I don't know. I didn't know there was a Tommy and Pam thing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. Lily James. Sorry. I'm thinking Lily James.
Now she would be good.
So it's Lily James.
She's too old to be Olive now, though.
But it's Lily James playing Pamela Anderson and Sebastian Stan playing Tommy Lee. And it's an HBO special about how their sex tape got leaked and anything. It's got Seth Rogen in it. It looks really good.
But why?
Because it looks hilarious. Why? Nick Offerman's in it.
That's unnecessary.
He plays the pornographic, like the guy that like mass produced the porn. Anyways, but I mean, I think if they're gonna do this as a show, I think they should do what they did with Grey's. Give us young actors we don't know. Fill it out with people that are talented and bright and are really going to make the show. Because I truly think that's how we get series like Grey's and these newer shows that Mindy Kaling's doing that are going to have longevity. Mindy Kaling is who I would put on the production team, though. God, she would be really good at that.
She'd be great. She'd be great. I want Reese Witherspoon to like pick this up for her production company.
Oh yes,
which has a relationship with HBO Max already. But if Shonda does it, then it's going to Netflix.
Shonda has a relationship with Netflix and HBO Max right now.
Oh, she does.
She just I believe I'm going to fact check myself, but
I thought it was only Netflix.
I'm pretty sure she signed something with.
But you know what? The chick from Bridgerton, is that what the show's
called? Oh, Piper, whatever.
That girl could be Olive.
Yes. And
we know she can do a sex scene.
We sure as fuck do. Her name is Phoebe. Her real name. Phoebe.
Well, she's also on the show Younger.
She's Scottish.
Yeah, she's on the show Younger.
She would be good as... Yes. Her American accent's pretty solid, too. I also like...
I haven't heard her American accent.
The actress that plays Eloise in Bridgerton would be good, too. Her name is Claudia Jessie. She's really cute. She'd be actually, you know what? She would be a perfect Olive. Claudia Jessie. Claudia Jessie, Jessie. She's like 35 though or something. She looks much younger.
Oh yeah, her. Yeah, she would be a good Olive.
Oh, she's 32. Sorry, I aged her.
She would be a good Olive.
But she plays 16 right now on Bridgerton and nails it.
She could do it for sure.
That would be my
She can't have brown hair though. She can't have brown hair.
Why?
I don't picture Olive that way.
But the cover has her with brown hair.
I picture her with like an auburn hair. It's kind of like reddish.
Okay. Well, we're almost at our hour marker. Let's talk about what's next week.
Okay, so next week we have Eleanor and Park to wrap up our month of romantic reads. This is by Rainbow Rowell.
That broke hurt me.
I'm sorry. And then we'll roll into March. And as we've been saying for a few weeks, we have a special guest on our March 8th episode.
I'm so excited for Chessie.
Francesca Zappia, Chessie, as we call her. We'll be talking about her new book that comes out this summer, Katzenjammer. I believe it comes out in June.
I can't say that.
We have ARC copies.
It's so good.
I'm very excited to talk to her about it. This book, like her other book, Eliza and Her Monsters that we read on the pod, has illustrations by Chessie.
It's beautiful.
And these are not the official. We have art copies, so we have to say this art is not final. So,
right. Well, and there's not even like the dedication's not in there yet.
We're ahead of the game with this. So
Shocker.
That'll be out That episode will come out in March, and the book comes out in June.
Yes.
So yeah. So that's what we've got coming up. Follow us on social media. I'm gonna release the titles.
This book.
I am currently reading our first March book and having a struggle bus with it, but we'll talk more about that.
Addison, is it The Invisible Life of... Oh, it's historical fiction, that's why.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's not your jam.
Guys, Molly has put so much historical fiction on season 2. I think she's made it her personal mission to make me like it, but I'm never
at least one. You gotta like at least one. You hate my favorite.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But I think you'll like Addie LaRue because it's a lot of Discovery, which is like it's adjacent. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins, but she's not
like you and I are cousins.
Same person, different font, as you say.
Yes. All right,
yeah,
besties.
So that's what we've got coming up.
We will see you guys next week.
Next week. Yep. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April and not those of anyone else. Today's book was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. If you would like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com.